University was such a waste of time, dude. Like, such a waste of time. And I don't mean to imply that I could have been doing something better. That's not what I'm trying to say, because I know I couldn't. I have no idea what I want to do with my life at this point, really, but I don't think it's this. I can tell you that. I should say the first year, because it's not over yet, obviously, but of a standard 3-year course, I've done a third of it now, and it's just like, what in the fuck is the point? It's like, from this past year, what do I have to show for it? Not a whole lot. I can tell you, not a whole lot. And it's kind of funny, actually, because I remember a few weeks, I think, before I moved out, September 2023, when I went to university. When I moved out, I had like pretty much a full mental breakdown that was induced by my family, because I was just getting pestered by them for the entire day, and it was just like, it drove me up the wall. And they kept like asking me like, what's wrong, and I've learned a long time ago to just say like nothing. When I get asked shit like that, like what's wrong, it's a trick question. People don't want you to answer. And I learned a long time ago not to answer that question, but they just kept going at it for literally like 10-15 minutes non-stop. I can tell something's wrong, I know you. That's something my family always says, like, oh, we know you that well, and it's like, they don't. My family have no idea who I am. They don't know me, and I basically just like told them, I'm like, I can't take this shit anymore. If I go to university and it's just more of the same shit, I won't be able to handle it. I was just comforted with lies by my family, like being told like, oh no, this time it will be different. And even then I knew that was just bullshit, dude. Like the amount of times I've heard, like, if I had I know it's like a dumb cliche thing to say, but if I had a penny for every time I was told, oh, next time it's going to be different, I would have like quite a few pennies by now. Like, oh, secondary school is going to be so much better, high school is going to be so much better. You're going to go to college, you're going to make friends, oh, I know high school wasn't for you, but college is going to be so much better, and it's just, it never is. It's always a lie, every single time, Same with my job, too. Like, oh, you didn't make any friends in college and stuff. Well, when you get a job, that's different for some reason. It's fucking, I don't know why, but it's different apparently. And you'll meet a nice girl there, and she'll be your girlfriend maybe, and all this shit, and it never happens, dude, It's just a load of bullshit. It really is. Yeah, let me think, what else? Like camping, like when I went to Scotland on this, like I got sent on this like drug rehab thing. Even I'm not like a drug addict, but I'm just this like young offenders thing that my mum sent me on, thinking it was like a fun like camping trip, and I was just like had to stay for 2 weeks with these weird kids who were like a bunch of like criminals basically, and had been sent to like juvenile prison, and I had to spend like 2 weeks with these kids. And they were like, oh, you'll make so many friends there, it'll be so nice. And then I went there and I tried to talk to people, and they literally just like stare at me blankly. Like, I'd go up to them, I'd be like, hey, how are you? And they just look at me, like, literally not say a word. It's like, what the fuck are you meant to do? And then I get the same shit about university, like, oh, university, it's going to be so much better. And it is not. It wasn't. And I knew it wasn't going to be, don't get me wrong. Like, I wasn't, as brutal as it is, like, I wasn't disappointed, because I've just come to expect it at this point. Like a callus, I'm used to it. I really am. And that's just what my family does all the time, dude. Like, since moving out, like, it really put into perspective, because, like, I knew it was bad, but now it's like, when I go to spend some time with my family, like, it's so much worse. Like, I forgot how much I hated it, and like, as rough as it sounds, it really is true. Like, the worst days of my life at this point are the ones I spend with my family. That is rough to say. And don't get me wrong, like, I do love my family. Like, I'm not here saying, like, I hate my family or anything like that, but I just don't get along with them. Like, there's just a personality clash. Like, with my mom or with my extended family, like, I just can't live with them. I just can't do it. Like, moving out was, like, one of the best things that ever happened to me, in some ways, anyway. And yeah, and then it's like, after all that, what's left, like the social life, having friends, having a girlfriend, none of that happened. Obviously, none of that materialized. It's like, what's left at university? Like, clubs, I guess, like social stuff. Like, I'm going to make a whole other video, actually, about clubs and the times I tried to join a few clubs, because that was really brutal. But, and obviously, there's like the actual degree. I'm here putting myself in thousands of pounds of debt to do a worthless degree, and the difference between me and someone that didn't go to university is They entered the workforce a few years earlier, they have more work experience, and they didn't waste loads of money on some pointless degree, and at the end of the day, we're both going to end up working at Slopdonald's, so what's the point? I really don't know why I came here. Just a few years of freedom, I guess. And I had to move out. That's as fucked up as it is. Like, that is the only reason I really went to university, is just so I could live on my own for a while anyway. Although that's kind of gone out the window too, because this summer I'm moving back in with my mum. I'm gonna have to live with her for the summer. So it's just it gets to a point, dude, where you're just like, what the fuck? It's over. It never even began. It never did. Yeah, it's just like, I just hate it here. It was such a waste of time coming to university. This whole year has been such a waste. It's gone by so quickly, and I have nothing to show for it. And it's like going to these classes with these like clueless teachers. These people, like my tutor, this old man, this like guy who looks like Mr. Mackey, and he just like the most clueless guy ever. Like, we had these presentations we had to do at the end of the year a couple of weeks ago. Like our final presentations, and we showed up to class, and he was like, "Oh, you guys have your presentations ready, right?" And we were all like, "No, because they're not for today." And he'd set like the wrong due date on the email or whatever. Like, he told us the wrong thing, and he was like, "Oh, that's my mistake." And then he always does shit like this. And it's like, teachers, the university, lecturers, they don't give a fuck about their jobs, dude. They do not care, because they're collecting their paychecks at the end of every month, whether or not, you're passing the class. Like, don't expect these people to look out for you. If you're a young person thinking about going to university or college or whatever you want to call it, my advice would be, first of all, don't, actually. But if you do, don't expect anyone to help you. You've got to rely on yourself, because these people, they do not care at all. They would just stick a presentation on the board, read off the slides, talk for a bit, and then send you home, and you have to do everything yourself. It's just such a waste of money. It really is. Everything I've learned at university so far, I could have just taught myself. It really is really egregious, actually. I don't think that in a few decades anyone's going to be going to university, really. I think because it's just pointless. And I don't think the older generation realizes how bad it is. Like, my mum has an idea. My mum's a teacher anyway, but she has an idea. But most people have no idea. Because these Gen X, I think, these kind of like 30, 40, 50-year-old people, they remember going to university, and they're like, oh, it was the best time of my life and stuff. Like, I remember once I actually had a huge argument with my mum, about like university being the best years of your life, because my mum was telling me like, oh, you need to enjoy it because it's going to be the best years of your life. And I said, like, basically, what's the point of living after that then? If you peak in college, then why are you still doing anything? And I just said, like, I hope it's not the best years of your life, because if this is as good as it gets, which of course it is, this is as good as it gets, like I've said that before, but yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about actually like learning a trade, going to trade school, something like that, because at least that's like practical. And there's also like the problem of like employability, and it's like, I don't even know what jobs are going to exist in a decade or 2 decades. Like, who knows? Like, I don't know. But I figure if any job's still going to exist, it's going to be like a plumber or something like that, so I could learn a trade, learn a skill maybe. I have no idea, but that's a way off anyway. I don't know, because it just kind of feels like I came to university for the sake of it. I'm doing a degree for the sake of it. I'm not doing a degree that I want to do. I'm not doing a degree that I want to do. Exactly. I'm just doing it for the sake of it. That's really how it feels. And just putting myself into debt, just loads of debt. And I have no idea how I'm going to pay this shit off, to be honest. But, I've been trying to save money, actually, living on a kind of a shoestring budget. That's one of the reasons, like, I eat probably less than 1,000 calories a day now, and I've actually lost a lot of weight, which obviously isn't sustainable. It's not sustainable. I'm not going to be able to eat like this forever, but I've noticed, like, a lot of face fat actually dropping off. My face is more defined. Don't get me wrong, like, I'm not good looking or anything, but it's a bonus, I guess, anyway. But that's, like, totally different to the first half of the year, because I would, like, blow all my money on going out to these, like, parties and stuff, drinking. And the thing about that is, like, I actually don't regret that, even though, you might think that I would, but I don't, because I'd go out to these parties, and that's the kind of thing where it's like, that was a complete fluke. The fact that I got invited to parties because I had, like, 2 roommates who'd go, And I only went along because, one, I wanted to like experience it because I knew I wasn't going to get like a second chance to do that shit, and two is because I knew I could just make it into like I could talk about it in a video or something. Like that's literally what I was thinking. I went to all these parties with like Chang and Jesse, and it's like they've both gone. You know, they've left university now. For the first year. You know, Chang's gone back to like China, literally is where he lives, and Jesse's gone back to who knows what council estate he's from. And it's like, it just feels so lonely here. It's like a ghost town here now, actually, because it's just another shitty town without all the students here. That's literally, it's just a tiny little town in the middle of nowhere, and it feels so lonely. You know, like I don't miss my roommates or anything like that, or you know, people in general, like other students. Don't get me wrong, like they did annoy me, but it's like it's now there's nobody here at all. Like I walk around the apartments and I walk to the store and there's no one around. You know, it really is. It's kind of creepy actually. It's like uncanny. And I mean, like I feel lonely when there's lots of people around as well. Like it doesn't really make a difference, but it's a different kind of loneliness, I guess, being alone versus being lonely but surrounded by people. I mean, it's just pick your poison, I guess. Neither one's really very nice. Yeah, and like I said, like I just don't know what kind of like careers I'm gonna have. Like in the long term, I don't know what career I could get with my degree. I'm not even thinking of like that's so far removed from anything I'm thinking about at this point. And this is the shit I always hear people say. They're like, "Oh, you're young, you know, you'll figure it out." That's what people say. You'll figure it out. You know, you still have loads of time, and it's like not really, you know, not really. Because time is money too. The more time I spend without a job, the more I'm putting myself in debt. And it's like, you know, you'll figure it out, but that's just not true at all. Because no one figures it. Everyone thinks they're going to figure it out, and then they, like I say, wind up working at McDonald's or something. And the brutal thing is, at this point, a job at McDonald's and a tiny little shitty apartment living by myself would actually be like pretty, like I'd be pretty happy with that at this point. That's the point I'm at now, you know. And then like in the short term, I'm thinking like I'm going to get like a summer job this summer probably. I only have like 2 weeks until I have to move out. I have to move back in with my mum for the summer because my, you know, you can't stay over the summer holidays in the university accommodation, so I have to move home, and it's going to be so fucking shit. I can just tell right now. I'm trying to like stockpile videos and stuff because I don't know if I'm going to be able to make them. That's something I've really enjoyed actually and kind of took for granted, is being able to make a video or basically do anything actually whenever I want. Because when I live with my mum, like all I get is like, "Oh, you're making too much noise" and shit like that, and it's like I don't know. "You're up too early." I'm up at like 8 a.m. and she's like, "Oh, you're up too early" and stuff. It's like I can't. It's just the kind of person I am, you know. That's just when I wake up. I like no. Don't get me wrong. Like I love my mum, but I just can't live with her. I don't know. And then there's like America. Like next year, I have like an exchange trip, and this is how it was sold to me. Originally, like my family and the university are like, "Oh, it's going to be amazing," you know. This is what I'm talking about, lies. The future being promised to you is completely different to the one you're actually going to inherit. And they're like, "Oh, you know, you're going to go to America, it's going to be amazing, you know, you're going to do all this cool stuff and meet these amazing people, and you know, and you're going to go there for a semester and stuff." And it's just like, I found out recently I'm going there for 2 weeks. That's rough, dude. 2 fucking weeks. And like originally I thought I was going for the whole year or the semester. No, it's 2 weeks. And I don't know, dude, it's just I'm not looking forward to that at all, because that's with my tutor. My Mr. Mackey tutor is in charge of that too, I found out recently. He's actually like the guy who's in charge, like the only adult, I mean we are adults, but like the only like actual teacher who's going with us, and that's him. This clueless fucking guy. It's like, oh my god, dude, that shit's going to end in disaster. And like, of course, like I turned 20 this summer, which I'm not looking forward to. Some people like don't know how old I am. Like I'm 19 right now. I'm turning 20, so there you go. And I don't know. Like the 2 decades on this planet, and it's just like, I say university's been a waste of time, but in the 2 decades, what do I have to show for it? You know, and I'm terrified of turning 20, to be honest, because I feel like my life is passing me by. And again, it's the people who say like, "Oh, you know, you're young, it's fine," but it's like you're not young forever. You know, and time trickles on. It doesn't matter if you're 20 or you're 60. I just don't know where I'm going. I just have no idea what direction I'm taking my life in. You know, this year has been such a, I don't know, not a waste of. I mean, it has been a waste of time, but not even just that. It's been like, almost like a one step forward, two steps backwards kind of thing, you know. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. And then obviously I have this stupid holiday or, you know, vacation I've got to go on in summer with my family, which I talk about sometimes. And I know I sound like ungrateful, but just wait. I'm going to make a video about that. Just wait, because I already know that's going to be the most brutal fucking subhuman holiday ever. Like, it's going to be, at least it makes a good video. You know, that's the point I'm at now. It's like, this channel is all I have. Thank God I started this channel, dude. Thank God I didn't quit. Because there were a few times I was thinking, like, maybe I should stop doing this shit. Thank God I didn't do that. Because I would have literally nothing if I didn't have this shit. Yeah, and I'm thinking like a year ago as well, like what I was doing a year ago. And I was like talking to this girl online, and that shit didn't fucking work out. I still need to make that video, holy fuck. Because that is probably the most brutal thing that has ever happened to me. You know, how in a year you can go from like talking to someone and then have it like completely collapse, and then, oh, like of course it wasn't going to work out and shit, but anyway, I don't know what I was expecting. But yeah, I am going to make that video, and yeah, I have nothing left pretty much. You know, I have nothing left. I made that video, I have nothing left, and nothing is in the year or so that came out, like nothing has changed. It's just gotten more brutal. Yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it.